to school at the University of Kansas because my whole family had moved there my senior year in high school. And then after I graduated, my folks then lived in San Francisco. I spent the summer with them, and that was one summer too long. And they moved to Chicago, and I moved to Washington, D.C., because a friend of mine who had worked in, or who had been my friend in college, had gone to D.C., so I went there, and we were roommates in Washington, D.C. And I worked for a lobby group that lobbied for non-prescription drugs, and then I got a job on the Hill. The first one I had was on the Senate side. It was Senator Bry's constitutional subcommittee on constitutional amendments when they were doing the hearings on the Dirksen bill, which was about school prayer. And then from there I went to work for a congressman from Illinois, Derwinski, who eventually became the head of the Veterans Administration. And then I went to work for Ed Gurney, who was a congressman from Florida when I worked for him. After that, he went on to be a senator from Florida and was on actually part of the Watergate Committee hearings. And then I worked for a man named Gary Brown, who was from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Then I met my husband and got married, and we went to Europe and left DC in 1972. So I was there from 64 to 72.
What interested you to work on Capitol Hill?
I'm sorry?
What interested you to work for Capitol Hill?
Well, it was the biggest game in town. It's fun to work there. I don't know, I wasn't particularly political before I went to work there. But it was the prestigious place to work. And it was hard to get a first job there, but there's like a core of professional, at least back then, Hill workers that congressmen don't always like to have people from their state, because if they have to find them, it's harder because they have constituencies and that sort of thing. So there's a real core of people who just are professional Hill employees. And once you get your first job, it's easier to get another one.
Okay, I'm going to just time out one